because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
I am your warrior. I am your justice. And for those who have been wronged and betrayed, I am your retribution. I am your retribution.
America has always been a country of contradictions, a country that promises equality while wrestling with blatant, entrenched inequality, a country that celebrates freedom while pushing laws to control personal liberties. A decade ago, the United States took a hard right turn from President Obama's message of hope and change to President Trump's view of a country in decline, needing to recapture its greatness, a message that is now also rooted in retribution. In his new book, American Contradiction, Revolution and Revenge from the 1950s to Now, Pulitzer Prize-winning sociologist Paul Starr dives into how we got here, from decades of social progress to the backlash. Paul Starr joins me now. It's good to have you here. I mean, there is such a contradiction in this country that we have seen, even in the way America handles its diplomacy, telling other countries what to do while ignoring what's happening at home. You make the case this started in the 50s. What got us to this point, to this contradiction?
Okay, well, I think you're right to set it up with Obama versus Trump, because that, in a nutshell, is the contradiction. There it is, two sides of America, two potentials that lie within our country's history that have come out in such dramatically different ways. So I think of this really going back to the founding of the country. This is a country that was founded in the contradiction between freedom and slavery. And we have fought over these issues in different ways at different times. And what we're going through now is another version of these battles that we have in the past. So I begin this history, and this book is a history of the country since the 1950s. And that kind of figures as a backdrop, because so many people have used that era as a kind of benchmark. And for some, it's a benchmark for how much progress we've made. And for others, it's a benchmark for how much we've fallen, who look back to that period as having been, in some ways, a better society than the one we have today.
With such nostalgia, which also I think brings up another issue for this country, which is embracing the actual history as opposed to perhaps a rosier view of it. When you talk about the difference between going from Barack Obama to Donald Trump, the hope and change, the number of, I would say, political minds that I've spoken with since 2008 to today, the number of people who have said to me, the reality is fear is a better motivator than hope. Would you agree with that?
I don't know that that's always true, but I do think fear is critical to understanding what has happened to the country over, let's say, the last 30 years. And so since the 1990s, there have been changes in our country, demographic changes in the racial and ethnic composition of the country, cultural changes, and those changes have landed very differently on the opposite sides of the political spectrum. So for people on the left, they've been a source of hope, in fact, even a source of overconfidence that the future was destined to be theirs. And on the right, there's been a sense, I think, of impending political catastrophe from a new majority, and the fear that white people would become a minority in the country, and fear about the cultural changes taking place at the same time. And I think that that anxiety has played into the reaction that's taking place today.
So real quickly before I let you go, when we look at this contradiction, right, and the fact that we've gotten here, do you have a sense of how it ends?
No, I don't make any predictions in this book. I think we're now embroiled, enmeshed in this conflict. It's very hard to see what lands beyond it. But but the one encouragement I would take is that there have been difficult and dark moments in our history before, and we've come out of them. And we need a leadership, and I'm not sure who that's going to be, who's going to be able to lead us through the darkness into a time when Americans have that sense of unity that we've had at other points in our history, and when we have a kind of peace that we don't have right now.
All right, something a lot of people are looking for. Paul, it's great to have you here. Thank you. Congratulations on the book.
Thank you much, Eric.
The new book, again, is American Contradiction, Revolution and Revenge from the 1950s to now.